This is Lloyd, who gets expelled from his party. At the start of the story, we see a scene from a few years ago, where during a fight against a demon, a town gets destroyed. We also see Lloyd, who is deeply shocked by this destruction. Behind Lloyd, we see a lady named Merlin. She had fought the demon, and because of her mistake, the whole town was destroyed. Merlin feels very sorry for Lloyd and hugs him with teary eyes. After that, Merlin takes Lloyd to her home. She shows him her fire magic and tells him to try casting the same. She warns him that if he cannot do it, he will not get dinner. Then Merlin leaves. Lloyd starts trying. By evening, Merlin is waiting for him. Lloyd runs to her and says, "Master, I did it." Lloyd has managed to cast a small fire magic. Merlin becomes very happy but blows it out and shows him real power. She tells Lloyd that he still has much to learn. The next day, Merlin teaches Lloyd water magic. Seeing water rise from the ground, Lloyd is very surprised. Merlin tells him to try it. Lloyd tries, and the ground becomes wet. Seeing this, both Merlin and Lloyd are happy. But then Merlin shows real water magic again and tells him he still has much to learn. Later, Lloyd learns wind magic. He manages to cast a small wind spell, but Merlin blows on him, and he flies into the air. A few months later, it is winter. Lloyd makes a statue of his master from snow. Merlin picks him up from the statue and makes it much bigger. She again tells him he still has much to learn. Lloyd says, "Master, I will work even harder." A few days later, we see Merlin is a little sick. Lloyd asks, "Master, are you okay?" She says no. Lloyd starts using healing magic. "Master, how do you feel now?" She says, "Lloyd, you have become better at healing magic." Merlin hugs him and says thank you. Lloyd feels very happy that he could finally do something. After many days we see Merlin. He feels deep regret after seeing a book. Then Lloyd comes and says dinner is ready. Merlin drops the book while putting it down. Lloyd picks it up. As he lifts the book, his body glows. He sees the book's information. Then he suddenly faints. Merlin understands that Lloyd also has the potential to become a chosen one. Later Merlin puts Lloyd to sleep in her room. She thinks she will not let Lloyd make the same mistake. She just needs to keep him from being overconfident in his power. The next day Merlin tells Lloyd about the white mage. She says that if someone uses magic to help or do good, they are called a white mage. Lloyd uses his healing magic to make a plant fruit grow fast. Merlin says that is real healing magic. At night Merlin studies magic with Lloyd. She tells him that Beastfall has a rare magic that controls monsters. Then Lloyd sees an ancient magic in the book. Merlin says he does not need to know about it. It is a magic that vanished centuries ago. The next day Lloyd practices summoning staff. Merlin knocks him down with her staff. She says he is too slow. "Do it again." Lloyd says yes ma'am. She says he is still very inexperienced. She tells him not to forget his training. At night magic study starts again. Lloyd asks, "What is magic stone?" She says magic stones are crystallized form. Their power turns things around it into magic stones too. Days pass. One day Merlin leaves Lloyd in a forest with dangerous monsters. She says, "Take this knife and survive for 1 week and come home." Then she runs away. Lloyd panics. A monster appears. He runs away. He climbs a tree to hide. He thinks he cannot beat the monsters with his white mage spell. He must escape. He uses wide vision power to see how far home is. He sees that home is very far. He slowly moves forward. When night falls, he heals a tree fruit and makes it ripe, and eats it. Then he comes to a small cave. He tries to tweak his magic to increase his finger strength. The next day he uses it to cross a mountain. At night he stays inside a tree. Then he enhances some spells so he can run faster. While walking, he enters a spider's area. He sees the spider and runs away fast. Lloyd uses his magic to make himself faster. Soon afterwards he arrives home. Time passes. We see Lloyd grown up now. He is cleaning the house. Then he finds a book on the table that shows a city. Merlin comes in. Lloyd asks, "Should I keep this book?" Merlin says yes. Days pass like this. Merlin makes new spells. She teaches them to Lloyd. One day Merlin comes to tell Lloyd about a new spell. But she sees Lloyd is not in his room. She looks at the city book and understands that Lloyd must have gone to the city. We see Lloyd in the city. He wanders around. Suddenly paper hits his face. It says they are recruiting an adventurer for a party. We see someone watching Lloyd. Soon Lloyd is shown in a party that has come to fight a monster. "Wow, so adventurers fight like this?" someone says. "Sheena, heal me now." "Yes, right away," Sheena says. Then we see Lloyd use his spell to enhance everyone. No one knows it was Lloyd who helped. Sheena's healing spell becomes much more effective because of Lloyd. An archer shoots an arrow into the monster's eye. The monster tries to punch him. Lena comes and protects him. Lena notices that the monster's attack felt weak. Then Mion uses her bind spell to capture the monster. Alan sees the final strike coming and finishes the monster. Lena starts to suspect Lloyd did something. People walk down the road, praising Alan's party. We learn that the monster Alan's party defeated was a Cyclops that no one had beaten before. Because of this achievement, people now call Alan a hero. Lloyd increases everyone's strength. He first tells Lulu to shoot the mage. The mage was hiding. Lulu attacks and her arrow hits the mage. Then Lloyd tells Mia to teleport the staff near him. Mia teleports it, and Lloyd quickly puts a seal on it. Mia does not understand how Lloyd sealed it so fast. Alan does not like Lloyd giving orders. He tells Lloyd to stay in his place and says he is the leader. Suddenly, the golem starts acting strange. Lloyd tells Alan to step back because the magic stone that controlled the golem is sealed. Now no one knows what the golem will do. But Alan is arrogant. He ignores Lloyd and rushes to attack the golem. Lloyd notices Alan could get hit directly. He buffs Alan and teleports to save him from the attack. But Alan thinks Lloyd is just getting in his way. Later, Alan kills the golem, but only because of Lloyd's buff. After this, Alan removes Lloyd from the party. He says, "Lloyd, I am kicking you out. You do nothing. Even though you are a white mage, Sheena does all the healing. You are useless and have no power." In truth, Lloyd has great power, but even he feels he is weak. He says nothing and quietly leaves. Later, Lloyd tries to join another party in a guild, but no one accepts him. At the counter, a girl named Yui is begging the receptionist for a free white mage. The receptionist says none are free. Just then, Lloyd arrives. The receptionist points at Lloyd and tells Yui to ask him. Yui goes to Lloyd and asks if he is a white mage and free. Lloyd says yes. Hearing this, Yui grabs his hand and takes him with her. We are shown a scene from a few hours earlier. Yui and her party came for an A-rank quest to catch bandits. They attack the bandits. Silica, a mage, burns some of them with fireballs. When bandits rush at her, Cross, the archer, shoots them. Yui fights with her sword and injures some bandits. One bandit tries to attack Yui from behind, but Dagas protects her. The bandit tries to overpower Dagas, but Clum, a white mage, casts a strength buff on him. Dagas throw the bandit away. They defeat all the bandits except the boss. The boss is shocked that his men were defeated so easily. He tries to escape, but Yui chases him and tells him to surrender. Seeing the golden plate on Yui's neck, the boss realizes they are high-rank adventurers. Yui warns him to give up, but instead, he pulls out a staff and summons a giant stone golem. The party realizes that magic or arrows won't work on it. Yui says she will handle it. She strikes the golem, but nothing happens. She asks Clum for enhancement magic. Clum casts it, and Yui strikes again, destroying the golem in one blow. After this, they tie up all the bandits. From Clum's talk, we learn that her younger sister Sylvie is very sick. Back to the present, Yui takes Lloyd to her party. Everyone is surprised she found a white mage so quickly. Yui introduces him and welcomes him. But Lloyd says he never agreed to join. Yui is shocked. Silica says she expected this, knowing Yui brought him without explaining. We learn that their party got a quest, but Clum's sister's condition became worse, so Clum stayed with her. Now they cannot complete the quest without a white mage. Cross tells Yui to give up the quest. Dagas agrees. He also doubts Lloyd can replace Clum. In the end, Yui still insists. She says if they give up, what about the client who trusted them? She cannot break that trust. Lloyd then says they should hand the quest to another party. Silica says they cannot give up because the quest they got is an A-rank quest. Only A-rank or higher parties can accept it. Dagas explains that all other A-rank or higher parties are already on their quests. Only their S-rank party is left to do this one. Hearing S-rank, Lloyd is surprised. In his mind, he says S-rank is the highest rank for adventurers. Lloyd wants to help, but he remembers Ilan's words calling him useless. He feels weak. Yui says they still have time before the quest, so they should test how capable Lloyd is. They all go to a forest. Yui tells Lloyd to show what magic he can use. Lloyd panics. In his mind, he thinks they expect too much from him. He feels bad because he will only disappoint them. Yui asks directly, but Dagas says she should at least tell Lloyd which spell to use. Dagas suggests Lloyd try enhancement magic on them. Lloyd thinks this is simple, for many white mages, even one enhancement is hard. But he accepts it as a test. Yui tells him he must cast on all of them at once, not one by one. Lloyd wonders why Yui wants this because it is actually easy for him. Lloyd takes out his staff. Silica and Yui are shocked and wonder where he got it from. Lloyd then casts multiple enhancement spells on everyone. Silica asks him where the staff came from. Lloyd says he just used storage magic, though they do not know what that is. Lloyd then asks Yui how his enhancement was. Yui is surprised and asks if he already cast it. Everyone is shocked because Lloyd cast the spells without chanting. They feel their bodies lighter. To test it, Yui slashes a tree. The whole tree breaks in one strike. Lloyd explains he cast 5 spells: physical enhancement, defense boost, magic power boost, mana consumption reduction, and status alignment. Everyone is stunned. They ask if he really cast all 5 at the same time. Lloyd says yes, casting one was too simple, so he thought they expected more. They are speechless. Lloyd thinks what he did was normal. He puts his staff back into storage and feels he cannot join their party, so he prepares to leave. But they stop him. Later, Lloyd tells them he was kicked out of the heroes' party. They are shocked. The heroes' party? You mean one of the 4 heroes of this world? Lloyd says yes. They expelled him because they thought he was weak. The others laugh in disbelief. They say no white mage can do what Lloyd just did. Lloyd says surely there are many more talented white mages. He asks why they don't call back their own white mage instead of taking him. Yui explains about Clum's younger sister, Sylvie. She is very sick. Clum takes care of her every day. Recently, Sylvie's condition became worse, so Clum cannot join the party until Sylvie recovers. If it was a normal quest, they could manage without a white mage, but this is an A-rank quest. Without one, it is impossible. Lloyd understands their worry. He asks about Sylvie's sickness. Yui says she does not know details, only that Sylvie's body is slowly turning into a magic stone. Lloyd is shocked and asks Yui to take him to Sylvie. Yui agrees, and they go to Clum's house. Lloyd asks Clum how this happened. Clum explains she and Sylvie were adventuring one day. Sylvie was injured by a monster. Clum was far away and did not see clearly. When she reached her, Sylvie was already unconscious. Lloyd asks about Sylvie's symptoms. Clum says it is better to show than to explain. She takes Lloyd to Sylvie's room. As soon as Lloyd enters, he senses bad mana. He sees Sylvie's arms and legs have crystallized. Clum says her body is slowly turning into magic stone. Lloyd is shocked. Clum adds that Sylvie's mana has gone wild, and her body is changing. Lloyd steps forward and says maybe he can heal her. Clum is shocked. She says even advanced healing mages already tried and said it is impossible. A normal white mage like Lloyd cannot do anything. Lloyd studies her body and says this happened because of a slash from a high-quality magic stone. He asks if Sylvie was injured in a cave with high mana density. Clum nods. She says the cave they went to was exactly like that. She shows him the wound. Lloyd explains that mana entered through the wound, spread inside her, and is now turning her whole body into magic stone. Clum asked Lloyd how he knew everything. Lloyd replied that his master had taught him. He then used a spell to pull the dark mana out of Sylvie's body, but the spell also affected him, forcing him to stop. When Clum questioned him, Lloyd explained that he had used an invert mana transfer spell, which allowed him to observe the mana inside Sylvie. He revealed that the magic stone was changing because berserk mana was still inside her body. Until that mana was removed, no healing would work. He decided to heal Sylvie while removing the mana at the same time. Lloyd then cast a healing spell together with the invert mana transfer. Clum noticed it was not a normal healing spell. Lloyd explained that it used very little of his mana and that the healing process burned away the berserk mana while restoring Sylvie. Clum was shocked. Yui asked if this was impressive, and Clum admitted it was far beyond that. Lloyd was not only using his own spell, but he was also casting 2 spells at once while perfectly controlling his stamina, willpower, and mana. According to Clum, no ordinary person could ever do such a thing. Soon, Sylvie's body started to recover. After some time, Lloyd removed all the berserk mana, though he was very tired. Clum praised him, saying he had completely healed Sylvie. Sylvie finally woke up, and Clum became emotional. Later, Clum thanked Lloyd again and told Yui that once Sylvie was fully recovered, she would return to adventuring. When they were about to leave, Clum stopped Lloyd and said she trusted him with the party, asking him to take care of them. Lloyd hesitated, saying he was not an official member and still too weak, but Clum asked him to listen to his heart.